Hello everybody, it's Thursday. It means we're back. Final Drive Sim Racing. Happy New Year to all of you, each and every last one of you. And it's Endurance Week. We're back. First race of Season 4. And what a baptism for drivers old and new. We're at the mountain. It is Bathurst, Mount Panorama, Australia. Welcome down under all. So just to remind you, if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, just a reminder of our format: 15 minutes of qualifying, 80-minute race with variable weather for the Endurance Series. And it looks like it's going to be dry, but time will tell. And your commentary team, as always, myself, Mike Bullen on comms, and we will be joined very shortly by Luke Dugdale and Aaron Markham to complete our comms team. So yes, we're back, and we're really glad to be back as well. Really excited, really looking forward to this season ahead. At the moment, I think there are 28 drivers signed up for the season. Not everybody can make it tonight. We've already got 21 drivers in the lobby for practice. So let's take a look at the calendar for the season. So there you go, starting here at Bathurst. Round 2 will take us to Watkins Glen for 2 sprint races next week. Then Spa-Francorchamps for endurance, Zandvoort for sprints, Silverstone for our long endurance, which is a 2-hour race, Suzuka for sprints, Nürburgring for endurance, Imola for sprints, and then finishing off at Misano with an endurance race. What a calendar that is. Really great. The one big difference we got this season is that on Tuesdays we are running a non-streamed, it's not streamed, but it's 2 sprint Tuesdays. We do 2 20-minute sprints on Tuesdays, same tracks, same conditions, but what that does give is myself and Aaron the opportunity to race. Hopefully Dougie will join us as well at some point. So that took place on Tuesday just gone. So but other than that, it's pretty much the same as it was last season. The big difference being it's a new season, lots of changes of cars, drivers' cars, driver combinations, and plenty of change on that front. So it's all unknown again, who's going to be quick, who's not. The Honda looks good this season, which is great news for me, being a massive Honda nut. But other than that, we don't know. So we've got new tables this season, so let's take a look. That is what the driver's table will look like. That took me a good few hours to put together, but it's looking nice and pretty. So we'll have nice proper tables this season, not the ones run on SGP. And we've got 4 teams signed up so far for the teams. DP Racing, Rad, Dash are back together, Damo and Ash, and Baltec as well. So be interesting. I'm sure more teams will come out of the woodwork as time goes by. A couple of new things we've got for you this season as well. So we've got the power rankings. So this will put together everybody's poles, wins, podiums, fastest laps. Wins are worth 2 points. The others are all worth 1 point. And they will add up, and we'll have another table. So another something to go for. So you know, even drivers not winning the championship may have a little something to go for there. We've also got positions gained as well, so I will track people's starting position at the start of each race and their finishing position, and we'll track positions gained or lost and see who comes out on top of that one. So not all drivers on this list so far, because there's a lot of drivers signed up, but as with sim racing, quite often not everybody turns up every week. So I'm going to wait for the end of this race before I make any more changes to the tables, just in case people haven't come and haven't arrived, etc. And the last thing we want is to miss anybody out. That's not what I'm trying to do, but at the same time it takes a lot of effort to add in and change things around. So here we go. Here I am. I'm back. and it's great to be back as well. So we've got a packed show for you, absolutely packed show. So what I am going to do first is I'm going to take you to my track guide. So managed to do a track guide this week around Bathurst. So here it is, and hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome to Track Guide 1 of Season 4, and we are at Bathurst. Welcome to Australia, virtual Australia. It's just on my outlap here. So let's give you a little bit of a feel of this track, which is very technical, very tricky, very dangerous. It's the closest thing I think we get to drive to the Nordschleife, just due to the danger more than anything, the elevation changes and everything else. So here we go, across the finish line, down towards the first corner, late on the brakes, get the car turned in early on the power, because you've got a nice long straight here, now up towards turn 2. Have to go under the Audi gantry. I'm in the Porsche, as you can see, new car this season. Right, just before the 50 mark, you want to be on the brakes, get the car turned in. All uphill now, so on the power as quickly as possible out of the corners to carry as much momentum. Little lift down to second. The car wants to understeer. The camber's all over the place. It's bumpy. There's walls either side, as you can see. It's so treacherous, this mountainous part of the track. You just got to be as brave as you can be. Keep the power in. Get a little lift just to get the front end to bite, and then back on the power. Down towards the next gantry. Down a cog. Down again. Down to second. Just keeping the car under control through this bumpy section. And then back on the power. And down through the other side. Get the car turned in. Down to second again. Through the hairpin. And back on the power. Oh, it took a little bit too much speed off there, but we'll live. And then down the back straight. The Porsche not the best car for this. We run the Sprint Series now on a Tuesday, which is a great opportunity for the other drivers to practice, and for myself and Aaron to actually do some racing with these guys. Hard on the brakes, down to third, get the car in. Back on the power again through the chicane, down towards the final corner, again back on the power as quickly, and a 205.7 there, which is about a second off my best, but it's a tricky old sod to drive this circuit, and certainly not my favourite. It's not my favourite to drive. I absolutely love the track and the technicality of it. I'm just rubbish around there, and the mountainous section is just so dangerous, as you can see there, that it is tricky. But yeah, I'm expecting the top guys to be doing 202s, maybe even a late 201 for a pole position time if all is well. But there we go, that is Bathurst from the driver's seat. Back to the live action. Well, there we go. Thanks to me, and now back to me live, because that's how I roll. I have been joined by Aaron Markham in that little break there. So, Aaron, welcome to the comms box for the first time in 2023. Happy New Year, my friend, and Season 4 already. Bonkers.
I know, right? Thanks for having me. Welcome to Bathurst, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you introduced this earlier, but we've already raced here, haven't we, Mike?
Yes, I did give a little indication that we have raced you, and I've even put together a little highlight reel.
Oh wow!
Just of the sprint racing. You know, it's only a couple of minutes long, just to give an indication of how the action went. So I tell you what, we'll put that on now. Let's put the highlight reel on, and we'll discuss it afterwards and how we found it. So here's the highlight reel, and we'll have a little discussion afterwards. Here's the highlight reel. Well, the inaugural 2 Sprint Tuesday took place just 2 days ago, and Wes Bakehouse was on pole position for the opening race of the season, with Scott in second place, Adam Foster not too far behind, and then Kevin DeHaan also in the BMW. But there was drama as the race started down in towards the first corner, and there was contact between Scott and Bakehouse, which put both of them out of contention very early on, and Kevin DeHaan going on to lead the race. The battle between DeHaan and Foster and Reed would go on for a while, Foster making mistakes at times, as you saw there, going very, very wide and dropping down behind Reed. But it was DeHaan who came home victorious, going on to win the race and the opening race of the sprint season. There he is, crossing the line to take the first victory from Lloyd Reed in second, Bakehouse fighting his way back up to third, Foster fourth, Humphreys fifth, Bullen in sixth on debut in the Porsche, followed by his teammate Aaron Markham in seventh position, and Prescott 8th, Mooney 9th, Balseeley 10th, and Scott in 11th. On to race 2, and we saw some drama with a PC crash in which caused Bullen to start from the pit lane, as you can see there, as did Michael Mooney. You can see a little bit ahead of Bullen there. Dropping back through the pack with damage. You can see Markham just holding him up there. And Foster following Bakehouse through. Plenty of close action up the mountain section in the opening lap of the race. And Foster with another huge mistake from Aaron Markham there, held Foster up a little bit and allowed Bullen to catch up to him with just a couple of laps remaining. Bullen looked to try and take advantage of the damaged Honda in front of him. His closest opportunity coming towards the end. See Bullen just getting the car slowed down, but look how much time he gained there on Foster, but his teammate following him through all the way and taking his first victory of the sprint series in the race 2 was Lloyd Reed. And your final results there with Bullen again in 6th, Markham in 8th, Bakehouse in 7th on this occasion. Humphreys getting a podium, DeHaan 2nd. And there we go, that was the sprint series this week. So yeah, as we had good fun. I mean, a bit of a baptism of fire, wasn't it, around this place? But you know, better tracks to come our way. But yeah, good fun.
Oh yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Was definitely an eye opener. I think it makes you appreciate the ability of the people at the front a hell of a lot more. Because I was pushing like crazy every single lap, and I was still about 3 seconds off the pace. So it made me realise how crap I am at Assetto Corsa, and just how good these guys are who race out front.
Yeah, I mean, the pace of some of these folks is just absolutely insane. I mean, I'm not amazing on you. I'm no slouch. You know, I can drive, and you know, I was consistently doing the same lap time. You know, consistency is a sign of a reasonable driver. But still, as you say, we were 3 seconds off the front guys. But you know, we were there or thereabouts. It was a quiet turnout, which didn't help. But that was a lot of people did say they wouldn't be able to make the first race. So we're expecting probably nearly twice as many for race 2. So plenty of experience, but we definitely got great insight into what the drivers will be experiencing around just this place, didn't we?
Oh yeah, 100%. And I just think back to the some of the times that like Wes was setting at the front. I mean, I think at one point he set a 2:01, which is just I couldn't even tell you where I was losing time in the end. It was like where the hell do I find 3.5 seconds from to get that type of lap time? It was just scary quick.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it, and I think if any of our racers, for whatever reason, don't know that happens, come along on a Tuesday, all the merrier.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you're just watching and you're thinking, what's this ACC nonsense about? Get it downloaded on your gaming PC. Come and join us. And a Tuesday will be a great way for you to introduce yourself to everyone, get used to the racing, and see if the longer Thursday racing is your cup of tea. But there we go. One little addition, Aaron, which I'm hoping you'll like, is I've now got speed and gear on the right-hand side permanently, next to the driver number and everything else.
That is a lovely addition.
Yeah, we like that. Unfortunately, it's in kilometres. I have petitioned the creators of the application to give us a miles per hour option for us Brits, and I don't do. I mean, I can work maths out because it's only 62 mile an hour per 100 kilometres, so it's not difficult maths, but still,
no.
My perception of speed is very much based on miles per hour. So,
us peasants with crumpets per tea bags instead of kilometres an hour need to. It's not fair. It's not equality, is it?
It's not. It's not.
It's racism of the auto sport variety.
That's why I do absolutely love my Honda for that reason, though, because this has got the digital dash. You just press a button and it automatically converts everything to kilometres when you go when you go over to Europe. So it's lush.
I have exactly the same in my Polo. You can manually change the unit display.
Yeah, which is great. But I always change it back to miles per hour when I do my track stuff out there, because
so you know how fast you actually
like,
going.
oh my god, I'm going 182. Oh no, wait, no, I'm not. I'm not doing 182. That's kilometers. So yeah, I've had a few of those moments where I've gone, Jesus Christ, I'm going fast. And oh no, you're not. You're really not. Anyway. Back to what we've got at hand today. So while we are waiting just for the guys to finish practice before quali starts in just a couple of minutes, we'll have a quick run through the field, and we can see where everybody's running. I've shown everyone the calendar. I've shown them the beautiful new tables that I've created. So let's just have a quick run through. So Alex Kingston is our defending champion. He's in the Mercedes this season. Very similar livery to what he had in the Aston. Adam Foster is back. He's in the Honda. Quali about to start any second now. Wes Bakehouse is back in the ganja-inspired BMW livery there. Josh Evans is a new driver for us this season. He's Welsh, so he gets a nod from this Welshman immediately. And Josh is in the McLaren. Bart Tonks is back, and he's back in the BMW, and he's still got his customary number 33. And Paul Prescott is back, but he is in a very brightly coloured Lamborghini this season. He does like his bright colours. So Scott Valseely is back. He's in a Honda. I was expecting him to be in the BMW, but he's in the Honda. Ben Simpson is back as well. He's in the McLaren. Artis Millers is a new driver. He's Latvian, and he joins us in the Aston Martin number 666, the number of the beast. Adam Scott, who raced with us on Tuesday, didn't have the best of luck, to be fair. He got cleaned out on the first corner of both races. But let's hope he has better luck today in that black Ferrari, the only Ferrari on the grid, I believe. Dan Stevens is back, and he is in that black McLaren there. Alex Kingston we've already had. People have started moving order now, meaning it's all over the place. Kevin DeHaan is back also in the BMW this season, so a change of car for him. I'm trying to figure out who we haven't done. Darrell Weavers is in the Lamborghini this season. Michael Mooney's back in the Honda after a season away in the Merc. He's in a pink Honda, so there's plenty of Hondas out there, Aaron, so I'm a happy boy. The Humphreys brothers have reconnected as teammates, and they are in a Gulf liveried Audi, which is a change. So Team Dash for Damo and Ash is back together. Graham Morris is in the McLaren once again. He's consistently been in the McLaren, but he has got an awesome livery this season. Look at that beauty. Absolutely world class. So there is Ash, the other part of Dash. Alan Davis is in the Honda, but it doesn't look like he has synced up his livery because Richard Arnold has got the Rad livery. There it is, but his teammate hasn't.
Such a nice colour scheme.
Yeah, that's the livery that we ran when I raced with them for the Mazzano 12 hours. Beautiful little livery. Great job they've done on that. Lloyd Reed is back, and he's in the Merc this season. He was very strong around here in the sprint races on Tuesday. Won a race, as you will have seen from the highlight reel. So he's going well around here. Be interesting to see how he gets on. And Zuba is back as well. He's in the McLaren. Darren Tickner, new racer this season. He's in the Audi. Eli Poe is another new driver this season. He looked particularly quick in practice. So I think that is everyone. But yeah, lots of variety on cars, lots of new drivers, and 23 drivers so far. No Dominic Ingle. I don't know if he is joining. But if he is, he'll be late to quali, which sometimes does happen for him. But 23 cars around this place, mate, is going to be absolutely bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, I think... did we race here in the finale for season 1?
We did race here in season 1. Whether it was the finale or not, I honestly cannot remember.
I can't remember, but I do remember it being an absolute, stonker in all the good ways. I just remember it being utterly, beautiful, the racing, because of how many deaths there was in the mountain, if you like. Yeah, this isn't going to be a dull one, guys. So stick around. If anybody's watching live, seriously stick around. This will be a good viewing experience for you tonight. Well,
we're on with Eli Poe, who's currently on provisional pole. He's just gone through turn 1. Aaron, take us through the lap.
Okie dokie. Well, this is probably the easiest part of the track, just building up to the mountain. Braking zone on the 50-metre marker there, or the escape road. As it starts to get pretty technical now, working our way up the mountain. We have a left-hand kink before a hairpin turn. Very easy to lose the rear, as I found multiple times. He's tapped the wall a few times, but you get away with it. Car gets a little bit squirrely there. And again, he's all over the curbs, very brave. So easy to lose the car under traction there. So easy on that curb as well. He's backed out of it, never mind.
We'll jump on with Kingston instead. He's a couple of seconds behind him, so there we go. Through the left, on you go.
Well, excuse me, sorry, you can see there, Alex is able to take similar lines, but not necessarily clatter the walls. You want to take as much curb as you dare without unsettling the car, which he's doing very well for. This is an easy one to bottle on the outside of the track, but he nails it as we start to work our way downhill. Very easy for the car to become unsettled here, all the way down that is, purely just because of the way physics work and gravity does its special little thing. But you can see he's just very much committed. Takes a nice and tight line at the hairpin, which you want to do to maximise your exit down to the Conrod Straight, I believe it is. Please don't crucify me if that's wrong. We have a series of chicanes and 90-degree left-handers, so very, 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 very easy to lose all your time if you will slap downforce on the car for the mountain. But that car that Alex Kingston is in is pretty sharp in a straight line, so I don't think he needs to worry about that. Nails the chicane. All he has to do now is just make sure he doesn't mess up his last braking zone, and it doesn't look like it. Able to take a lot more curb than I was on Tuesday night, and he goes across the line, and it looks like that is pole position provisionally for Alex Kingston.
It does.
Lap.
It does, and it was a great lap. Actually, not the lap he set a pole lap from. That was the previous lap, actually.
I do apologise.
No. I only noticed looking at the data on the screen there. So that was actually 2 tenths slower than his best lap. So
Still a good lap though. 2
yeah.
minute 1 consistently. That's very fast.
Yeah, he's looking like the man to beat again this season. Different car, but still that same level of speed. He is currently then in first. Eli Poe, a newcomer. He's about on the verge of breaking into the 201s, but not quite there yet. Wes Beercoast did do a 201.9 in the race on Tuesday, so he's definitely got it in him to be there or thereabouts. Kevin DeHaan was very strong. Didn't have the outright pace of the front guys, but was very consistent in both races and no mistakes made. And that, I'm sure you agree, Aaron, will be absolutely vital around here for 80 minutes, won't it?
Definitely. At the end of the day, the person who crosses the line is the one who's made the least mistakes, and that is going to be so true around here tonight. Any little tap with the barriers we were finding, you're talking almost upwards of 5-10 seconds of damage straight away if the guys were to pit. So ultimately we're talking, I think with 30 seconds damage I was losing 5 seconds a lap, and it just racks up. So keeping it out of the walls, keeping it nice and consistent, even if you're not necessarily the quickest guy, could easily have you within a shout of the podium places, if not the win.
Yeah, and it's keeping your head as well, isn't it? I mean, the thing for me is, so many drivers in endurance races, like, they might have an early accident, alright, so be it. But then they pack it in or throw the toys out and that's it, they quit the server. And it's like so much can happen at a racetrack like this. You just got to keep with it, haven't you? And just keep going. It's so easy to just give up when somewhere around you, the race leader could bin it. I mean, even Adam Foster, as talented as he is, binned it twice around here on Tuesday. So anything can happen. You've got to stick with it.
Oh yeah, I mean, this track takes no prisoners at all. Anybody at any time can end up in the barrier. So the important thing is to just keep on going, because as much as it can happen to you, it can happen to the 23 other drivers on the grid.
Yeah.
I found last night in the first race, like I was saying earlier there, or alluded to, I had 30 seconds of damage and I came home in P7 behind you because other people in front of me binned it and just went to the pits.
Yeah.
And I just I didn't lose my head. I just thought, right, well, I'm not going to set any lap times alight. I'm not going to set any leaderboards on fire. I'll just keep the thing on the tarmac, and I came home for a nice solid result. And that's all these guys have got to do tonight. I'm looking at people like Prescott, like Millers, like Richard Arnold, who were down in, the latter stages of the grid. All it takes is for, I don't know, Bart Tonks, maybe Scott or Wes to have a little moment. There's 3 positions off the bat. You've got to be in it to win at the end of the day, haven't you? And yeah, I've gone on a bit of a tangent, but agree with you. You've just got to stick with it, especially in an endurance event.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this, I think I said in my track guide, I mean, this is the closest thing you get to the Nordschleife, really, on this game, in terms of close walls and jeopardy and undulation and changes in elevation. And so it's such a challenge for these guys.
It's like a hilly, high-speed Monaco, isn't it? I mean, there's absolutely zero room. Like, some of the corners, you are aiming for the wall.
Yeah.
In the hope that you can just graze it and gain that extra few tenths. It's utterly bonkers, but it's such a rewarding track when you get it right.
It is. So, very true. Let's just have a quick run through then. So Kingston's still on top, still has yet to beat his own time. Adam Scott now second on debut in the Ferrari. Eli Poe also on debut, finds himself in third. Wes Beercoast still in fourth at the moment, with Kevin DeHaan behind him. Not sure if those two are teaming up, as they're both in BMWs this season. Adam Foster currently down in 6th place. Wow. Unbelievable, really, just how many quick guys have joined this league now. But the two-time champion says he wants his title back. Well, he's going to have to work hard for it. This not a track for the Honda, so it may come good at future races, but this isn't one for the Honda. It doesn't do well on bumpy tracks, and this certainly is that. So Foster has improved. He has gone up to 5th now. Dahan down to 6th. Tonks in 7th. I'm really hopeful Bach can have a really good consistent season and show what he's made of. He's such a good driver. He just really struggles for consistency. So let's see, and let's hope for the best.
Of all the
for him.
places to demonstrate consistency, this needs to be the track, really, doesn't it? He can't afford to be inconsistent here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the type of one where, like I say, it's that throwing your toys out the pram because you've had an accident, and then all of a sudden you just you give up on the whole thing, and he just needs to keep his head down, keep it consistent, and this is the exact type of race where you could see a surprise finish, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Surprise podium or a surprise win.
Yeah, definitely. I think a surprise for me is Cotton Eye Joe's brother, Eli Poe, in 3rd place. What a debut! What a debut that is.
Yeah. He looks good. He looks good. He looks quick. So let's see what these guys have got. Lloyd Reed in 8th at the moment. Scott Balseeley in 9th in the Honda. Ash Humphreys only in 10th. But again, Ash is quite reserved generally, so I think he's probably thinking more about setting the car up for consistent race pace and see how he gets on. Josh Evans on debut in the McLaren, and the Welshman is in 11th, on the verge of that top 10. He is up to 9th, and he's not on the verge of the top 10 anymore. He's in it, which bumps Ash Humphreys down to 11th. Darren Ticknett also on debut in the Audi. He's in 12th. Graham Morris, 13th. Maybe not his track. I mean, some people absolutely despise this place. So, you will see some drivers just have an absolute shocker around here. Michael Mooney was one of them, and I'm not pointing him out, but he had an absolute shocker on Tuesday in the sprints, and he's down in 16th again today. And we've seen this guy on pole. We know he's quick, so it's just some people cannot drive this place. Damien in the pits, but he's currently in 14th. Ben Simpson also in the pits. He's 15th. Michael Mooney, there he is, the man himself, in the pink Honda in 16th. Artis. Joined him at just the right time. He's bumped a curb or two and gone spinny. The time clock has run down, and Kingston improved on his time. He's done a 201.3. Foster has done a 201.2, so he's up to 3rd now. Adam Scott's still in 2nd. But Poe is still out there trying to take back that 3rd position from Foster. But
apologies in advance here, Mike, if you hear my keyboard clicking. I'm just going to Google what the real life pole time was here last year.
Yeah, go for it.
These guys won't be far off it.
The guys were saying that one day on Tuesday that some of the aliens do like 157, 158 round here, which is absolutely insane to think we're 3 seconds slower than these guys who we're talking about now, and they're 3 seconds slower than the guys who are fastest around you.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is absolutely bonkers. But I tell you who is struggling around you is Rich Arnold down in 20th, and his teammate Alan Davis down in 22nd. So not looking great for the Hondas around here. Foster the best of them. Poe did take that position back, and he does qualify in 3rd position. So there we go.
Bathurst 12 out. Right, I've got it. I know what to Google now. All time
apologies, you didn't have the gaps there, folks. I did press the button to put them on, but for some reason it didn't work. But I've just put race gaps on now, and hopefully that'll sort it. So here we go. The drivers have just got a 3-minute window basically to set their car up, make any last minute changes, check the track temperature for any changes to practice, etc., and get themselves going. So we are joined in the comments box by Mr. Adam Foster. So while everybody's getting themselves set up, we'll just pop over to Adam for a quick word. Adam, P4, almost P3. Are you happy? Are you disappointed? And what is it a car track combination that is just not quite there for you? You're on mute. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, I was. Sorry, my bad.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is a track I can't deal with, but I'm happy with where I finished, 4th. So Alex is just unstoppable here. He's going to be really hard to beat in this season again. But yeah, this is not a great track for me, but the car feels good. So yeah, I'm hoping for at least to stay where I am. But I've been crashing a lot, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that's what me and Aaron were just saying, is that consistency is the most important thing around here, isn't it? And,
yeah,
you know, it's a long old race, and even if you do bin it, you've got to stick with it and try and fight your way back through, because other people will have accidents as well.
Alex is unbeatable, so there's no point even trying. The other two, not too sure about at the moment, so we'll have to see where we are. If we're fighting, then I'll probably crash. If not, I'll probably hold back.
Yeah.
All depends on what Wes is doing them behind me, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got Kevin and Wes behind you, who were both quick on Tuesday, so plenty of challenges from behind and in front for you.
Yeah,
I found the ball times. As off topic. Sorry, Adam.
Okay, no, carry on.
No, so in the background, before you joined, I was trying to Google what the top 10 shootout times were for last year's real life 12 hours of Bathurst, just to see how much you guys basically bossed it. You're almost a whole second faster than the real cars.
That's good to know. Sim's always a bit faster, so...
I think that just means that you're in the wrong profession. You should be doing this for 2 minute 2.49 got pole in 2022 in an Audi R8.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Interesting to know.
So our guys are basically, what we've learned is our guys are just better than real life.
Yeah, good to know. Rich, towards the back, my friend, have you got a bit of a love-hate relationship with this place?
Happy New Year, gents.
Happy New Year.
That's quite all right. Good to be back. I don't know whose idea it was to have this track as the first one this season, but we'll take it. Yeah, exactly. I don't know whether you remember the dizzy heights of season 1, but we
were just talking about it.
That was the last time I drove around this track, so it's been a while. I was in a different car. The Honda is a bit skittish around here, if I'm honest. So. Yeah, I mean, that lap time I just put in was basically the only lap I completed without hitting the wall. That was my banker. I have about another second in me if it all comes together, but like you guys already said, it's keeping it out the wall here that's going to be the tough bit. I mean, you can push as hard as you want and do purples all day long, but you're going to end up killing the car. So yeah, I think it's going to be a slow and steady type afternoon, and just see what we can do from here. But it's not going to be my best race this season.
Fair enough. I tell you what I found last night, and I don't know if this is a general ACC thing. I went faster in the race than I did in qualifying, and I don't know if that's because the track was more rubbered in or not.
Yeah, it's got a few things. I mean, if you get a tow, the tows are really good in the GT3 cars. Rubbering is a big thing as well. And generally, if you're following a car around the track for 10, 15 laps, and you happen to, follow a guy in a line that you generally wouldn't do, you can find time somewhere. I often find that you can, after a race, your quali times are actually very similar to your race times, just because, it's just doing it over and over and over again, you know, rather racing people rather than being on your own. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a fair point. It's been seen before. It's not unusual. You haven't discovered something new that you can, you know, win the Nobel Peace Prize with, unfortunately.
Oh, damn it.
There's always next time. Right, well, we'll let you get
I'll
your
try.
prep on. It's a tricky old son of a bee. So we'll see you in 80 minutes, and best of luck, my friend.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
And you?
So, Adam and Rich joining us there just for some pre-race bants as usual. But the guys are just making their way around the mountain section and down towards the back straight now, which is, what was it, the Conrod Straight, I think you said, wasn't it?
I want to say that it's called that. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
I'll find out.
I'll
while
take your
you,
word
get
for it,
ready.
because I'm useless with corner names and straight names and stuff. It's just not a forte of mine. I know a few, but it's not
I
something I'm
believe
very good
it's
at.
the longest straight in Australia on a track. As a boring fact.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know many Australian circuits other than, I mean, you know, the F1 circuits, but they're street circuits, so
There's Albert Park,
yeah,
there's
Albert
Phillip
Park.
Island, there's
Yeah.
Adelaide, there's Gold Coast.
Yeah, I don't
what
know
we-
many of them, to be fair, but so here we are, just coming in towards the end of the formation lap, and then they'll go back into the
That was
animals came in 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. Aaron has just given himself kudos for being correct, and yeah, we will see how they go. So yeah, first few corners and first few laps, absolutely critical. Don't take yourself out, don't take anyone else out, keep it simple, keep it on the black stuff, and you know, let the battles come later on once the field is a bit more spread out. This is one place where you don't want action on the first lap, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. We found last night though that the guys were pretty sensible, so I imagine it's going to be roll, repeat, if anything even more sensible because of the fact there's 80 minutes to play for.
Indeed, so we are moments away from that green light. There it is, it's green light, foot flat to the floor, and away they go down towards the first corner. Nice and simple start from all the drivers, and congratulations to Adam Scott, who's got himself through the first corner and up towards the second corner for the first time on his third attempt, because in 2 races here the other day that did not happen for him. But Kingston leading from Scott, from Eli Poe, who's made his way up into third. Great start from him. Oh, a bit of a mistake there from Dehaan. He's run wide, he's tagged the wall a little bit, but I think he's okay. Foster back up to 4th now due to that mistake. Beekhouse up to 5th as they all follow around up the mountain. Kingston, Scott, Eli Poe, Foster, Beerhouse, Dehaan down to 6th now. Josh Evans up to 7th already. Great start from him. Lloyd Reed in 8th. Bartonks in 9th. Balseely in 10th. And on they go. Josh Evans having a great start, getting himself up into 7th and keeping it nice and clean. Thankfully, no big accidents so far. Cue the commentator's curse. All drivers pretty close together, all following each other through nice and safely all the way up through the mountain, and you can see Kingston already with a huge gap.
Demo! I think Demo's had a moment, Mike.
Humphreys has had a moment. Let's just take a look at the replay and see what has happened to Damo as he comes over the top of the mountain. Looks okay.
I bet he's lost it on the braking. Or carried a bit too much speed.
He looks okay for a minute. Oh, just that old slow spin that you can't do anything about on that part of the circuit. That is a shame. But yeah, that puts him right at the back. But again, it's the first lap, so a long old way to go. So fastest lap so far from Alex Kingston. Obviously, being at the front, that was always going to happen. But a 2:08.1, that'll be smashed by about 6 seconds on the next lap, I would imagine. So somebody else. Oh, Foster's had an accident. Foster has
No
had an
way.
accident. He has. He's off. Or was it crashed?
Oh, I think it might be because that's at turn 1. You don't really have an incident at turn 1.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can't select him. So I think he's.
Oh, he's gone.
He's had a complete game crash. I can't select him. Sorry. So we're watching a replay of nothing. Foster out of race. He can rejoin from the pit lane, obviously, which hopefully he will get the opportunity to do. But yeah, Foster at the moment, as it stands, out of this race. But I'm sure he'll get himself back in and get himself going. So Kingston leading by 3 seconds from Scott now. So Scott and Poe really close together for second and third. And then Bakehouse chasing them down as well. Josh Evans up to 5th position now. What a start from the Welshman. Really, really good stuff from the Welshman, who is in the McLaren. And he's under a bit of pressure from Kevin DeHaan, who's made a few mistakes early on in this race. And Lloyd Reed is making his way through the pack as well. But back to Poe versus Scott.
That BMW has some poke in a straight line. I found that last night.
Oh,
It
the
was
side.
just unbelievably quick.
And they're side by side through the kink, which is brave stuff because that's bumpy through there, isn't it? And you can quite
Very.
easily find yourself having a little pirouette into the barrier. But that has compromised Poe just slightly and given Bakehouse a little sniff as well. Cracking little battle we got going on here for position. Oh, Humphreys number 2 has had an accident as well. And let's just see what's happened there. So it's not going well for Team Dash and the Humphreys brothers early on. So here he is coming through the kink on the brakes. Looks okay for the moment. Oh, just got a little wide, a little bumpy.
Oh no!
Oh, I hate it when that happens. Just completely out of your control, and on you go. But that is a shame, and he's in the pits. Hopefully not to retire, maybe just for repair damage, and come back out to play a little bit later on. We still don't have an Adam Foster in the lobby, so it does look like whatever's happened to him was terminal.
I can confirm, Mike, that he is not in the race chat, and I think he usually is. So I think his PC will be completely off.
Something terminal has happened there. Is there anything in the Discord you can report? Any driver chat?
I'll have a little read. It doesn't look like there's anything in the general chat.
Well, look at these now. Wes getting right alongside Eli Poe. Poe and Scott both made contact with the wall on the way down the mountain, which is what those yellow warnings are about on your screens, folks. But Bakehouse just thinks better of it, dips back out, and what a close battle we've got here for second place between these three guys. But what this is allowing is Kingston just to run away with it. I mean, we were expecting him to pretty much do that anyway, but not at this rate. He's already 6 seconds ahead of these guys, which is crazy, really. But Bakehouse with a really good exit there. He'll be looking to pressure Poe. Going through the next corner. DeHaan has made his way past Josh Evans. So let's take a look at how that happened. We love a replay. So this is Kevin Dunn. Oh, Evans went off the track, and he did really well to keep that going and not bin it into a wall. But that has cost him a position, and through goes Kevin DeHaan back up to 5th after his adventures in the early part of this race.
Poe's had a moment.
Poe has had a moment. Let's see if we can catch the replay. We're going to go back 30 seconds and...
Oh, we've just missed it mid-moment because there's Graham behind him.
No,
oh, there we go.
Yeah,
There we go.
It hadn't worked.
side by side.
Oh,
in the
side by
quarry,
side,
and that's not what you want to do.
Oh, that was ambitious. I mean, I'm all for overtakes. I love an overtake, but that was hugely ambitious.
Around the outside is always suicidal at Quarry. There's so
Yeah.
many examples of that through the years.
Yeah, that was never going to end well, was it? But what that does mean is that he is now down in 9th position, and Bakehouse is up into 3rd and challenging for 2nd. So we're already seeing plenty of jeopardy, plenty of action going on here.
Definitely. I'm wondering, Mike, is it worth introducing our esteemed colleague who has joined us in the commentary box?
Ah, he's arrived! I do apologise. I've only got 3 screens, I say only, but I've got things going on in each one of them, and I couldn't check the Discord, so I can only sort of periodically check into the Discord. So welcome, Dougie. How are we?
Not too bad. Good evening. How are yourselves?
We're good, mate. Happy New Year, and welcome to Season 4.
The year to you too. Can't wait. It's good to be back.
It is. You've only missed the first 8 minutes, so not I would say not a lot, but you have actually missed quite a bit. So Adam Foster's had a complete PC crash from what we can tell, because he completely went out of the lobby, and his car was sort of like doing one of those stuck in mid-air type things. So he's gone, and he was in 4th at the time.
Oh dear.
Yeah, there's been lots of little incidents and spins and taps, so it's all happening as we see Michael Mooney make a move. So let's take a look at that one and watch. So he let Simpson past. I wonder why that was then. Maybe he
Might have straight lined the chicane.
yeah, or maybe he tapped him, but then he had a better run up the start finish straight and took him up the inside anyway. So no harm done, no harm, no foul. But yeah, this has been a bit of a crazy one. So let's just see where everyone is. So Kingston out in front now by 7 seconds, well out in front. Adam Scott, sorry. Alex Scott is the football commentator, the fit one. This is not her. This is Adam Scott. So Adam Scott currently in 2nd place on debut, a second ahead of Wes Bakehouse. Oh, I think there's been a bit of argy-bargy between these two. Let's take a quick look and see if I can see. Oh no, he just went off the circuit and just came back on. So another mistake there from Mooney. Definitely not his track. So Kevin DeHaan in 4th then. He is a second ahead of debutant Josh Evans. Well, I'll say again, he's Welsh. Welcome back. Lloyd Reed up to 6th at the moment, and a mistake there from DeHaan has put him down again. Another mistake, and he's back down to 5th now. Josh Evans, who started 9th, up to 4th position. Bart Tonks past DeHaan as well. Another mistake from DeHaan. So he made 2 mistakes there within a couple of corners. So here he is going through the last corner, and he just gets his braking wrong, off the track, gets overtaken by Evans, and then into the first corner, too late on the brakes, into the kitty litter, and gets overtaken by another 2 drivers. He's having what the French call a le stinker. He's not having a good one, is he? So Eli Poe, who was fighting for 2nd position, is now having to fight his way back through the field. So he's chasing down Scott Balseeley, who's making his debut in the Honda. Not his debut with the league, but his debut with the car. Ray Morris up to 10th. Simpson in 11th. Mooney in 12th. Weaver's in 13th. Artis Miller's on his debut. He's in 14th. Paul Prescott in 15th. Stevens in 16th. Rich Arnold in 17th. Alan Davis in 18th. And Damien Humphries in 19th. And that is it. Oh no, it's not. Sorry. I can still keep scrolling. Sorry. My apologies. Then we've got Ash Humphries, who is back out. We've got Zuba. We've got Tickner. And then Adam Foster is finally, after whatever happened, back in the lobby. He's about, I don't even know how many laps down. 2 laps down on the car in front of him. So he's probably 4 laps down on Kingston, give or take. That's a rough guess. So, yeah. Yeah, game over.
Not fantastic.
No.
But at least, I tell you what though, we say this quite a lot, don't we, Mike? At least, you know, sometimes, you know, the guys at the back who just plough on and finish the race, credit to Adam for rejoining back when he could have easily just sacked it off.
Indeed, that is a very, very true. So we're watching Bathurst here. So Evans made a mistake out of the chicane. He held up then Lloyd Reed, and then Tonks made a mistake into the final corner, and Dahan Reed takes that position. These BMW seem to be having a little bit of trouble stopping, don't they? Which is a little bit strange.
Usually indicators what don't work rather than the brakes, isn't it?
I tell you what I found when I drove the BMW. I don't know if you have driven it, Mike, but I tested it at Imola compared to the Pug under the brakes, and it was so much looser at the rear. Only under braking, the traction was fine. It felt like as if, I don't know, as if the rear axles would just stop turning. I wasn't ploughing through the gears. I was staying quite high, and it was just as if there was a pivot on that engine in the front of it. It was crazy. It hated stopping.
I've not driven it. I've driven a few of the front engine cars, and I can't really drive any of them, so I tend to stay away from them. So I haven't even tried the BMW, in honesty. So could be gorgeous for all I know. Could be absolutely horrendous. I do not know. I cannot confirm or deny your suspicions with that one.
It does seem to be you need to be in a German car though to have the straight line speed. That Mercedes and that BMW looks rapid down Conrad.
They do, and unfortunately the only German car that isn't quick in a straight line is our Porsche.
No, but that should pay dividends when we go to somewhere like the Glen next week, where there's not really any straights.
Fingers crossed. That's all we can hope for.
We pray.
We hope and pray.
The Honda's not too bad either, is it, in a straight line?
It's okay, yeah. It depends on how you set it up, but I tend to set it up with far too much rear wing generally because it stabilises the rear.
Even at Kyalami though, you know, when we raced Kyalami, it wasn't the slowest thing there on the straight.
No, and it was pretty good when I did that endurance race around Mazzano as well. I gotta be fair, it's a good car. And it's really come along because they murdered it in the BOP settings in the first couple of iterations of ACC, but it seems to have leveled out now, and it's a good competitive car, which is all you want really in it, is each car to be able to compete. And at one point it was just horrendous, but didn't stop me driving it. Here we might see a live move here. We do. Humphreys with the better exit out of turn 1 up towards turn 2, and he gets the move done on Davis into the corner and up into 16th place. So he was dead last not long ago after a spin on lap 1, and it goes to show if you stick with it you can still fight your way back through, and he's now up to 16th, so going well in the Audi. And we saw a move live, which is always fantastic. Wes looked like he's ready to pounce as well. Oh, was a mistake there from someone. I think that was Darren Tickner in the Audi there, just going off in the background. So, Dougie, you are all prepped and ready. Oh, a mistake from Scott. I was just about to ask you a lovely question, Doug, and you've been interrupted by myself. So,
how rude.
Scott just going off track there and allowing Birkhouse up into second. Scott's driven so well under pressure for this entire race, and then he's just gone and binned it. But he's still in it, just a couple of seconds behind. So what I was going to say, Doug, is how's your preparation going for the Touring Car League? Are you all prepped up and ready to go for next week?
I would love to say I've been practicing, putting hours into it, but I need to use this week and try and find a lot of time to make sure I'm fine-tuning my craft. I always love to say, I always aim to put a load of time and effort in, but I haven't at the minute. But so I'm now going to commit this week leading up to it to put some time and effort in.
If I wasn't in this lobby, Dougie could have easily gone, yep, smashing it, absolutely smashing it.
Exactly, it's one thing I could either just absolutely lie and hope Aaron doesn't call me out, or just be truthful.
Exposed.
Yes, well, I wish you both good luck for the season ahead, which starts next Wednesday, I believe. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, guys, if you just search for TCSRL. I'm no longer a driver in that league, so you won't see me anymore, but still go along and support the boys and give it a watch. And it's always really close, enjoyable racing, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it if you give it a bit of a chance, so please do. So where are we? With some battles. This is what we're looking for. A nice three-way battle between Evans, Reed and Dehaan. Evans and Dehaan have been in the wars. Reed has been fighting his way up from a poor qualifying. You can see he's got the straight line speed, and that McLaren's got a fair bit of damage as well. They both make it through, and they're both late on the brakes. All got to be careful going through there, but nice nip and tuck through they go. Eli Poe has made a move on Bathurst. Let's just go back and see if we can see this. Here he goes down the inside, and through he goes up into 7th position. So after battling for 2nd, ending up down in 9th, he's now back up to 7th. So still plenty of time for that to change.
I must admit, ever since you mentioned, if I was correct with Conrod Straight, I have the track map pinned to my desktop. So I'm going to sound like I've got all the knowledge in the world, but really, I'm a huge fraud.
To be fair, when you were saying all the names, I was like, how does he know this stuff?
Just pop into this because it shows that Bathurst has just overtaken Scott, and I'm wondering how that happened when... Oh, Wes with a huge mistake into the wall, and that was what it was. So it gave Scott the opportunity. Scott must have just got his nose ahead, but then Bathurst got back past. So a mistake there from Wes, and this is what we've been talking about. Have you done much racing around Mount Panorama, Doug?
I have actually. I did it's quite a while back, but I have actually raced around it, and it's certainly a challenging track. Get it wrong and you certainly pay the price.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about pre-show, really, is all about consistency. You're better off being a second slower and getting around it in one piece almost than trying to set the timing screens light. So, but yeah, that was a prime example there from Wes. A slight lapse of concentration, and all of a sudden he's in a wall. And Scott has got the opportunity to catch him back up again. And during all this, Alex Kingston's 16 seconds out in front now. So Bathurst coming into the pits then. He's, with that damage, he has come into the pits. So Scott will go back up into 2nd. Bathurst getting his pit stop done nice and early, only 20 minutes into this race. So he's going to have a long 1 hour stint with a car full of fuel if he only wants to do a one stop. For the remainder of this race, and that puts Josh Evans up into 3rd at the moment on debut, still closely followed by Reed and then Dehaan, and then Eli Poe has caught these guys up now as well. So it's proper close for that last podium position now. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars fighting for it, and even 5 if you can count Bartonks, who's only 2 seconds behind these guys. So it's all happening here. Proper close racing.
Proper racing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Proper racing.
Proper racing indeed. But yeah, proper close. I just can't believe how close together these guys are, and they have been for a good few laps now. So we are only on lap 10, as it's a 2-minute lap round here, so you don't get as many laps as you would get at other tracks, but we do still have 58 minutes of racing to go. Oh, big mistake there from Dehaan. He's gone wide again, but he's managed to keep a hold of it. That's quite easy to lose the car there altogether.
Is that Eli Poe catching up in the background as well, though?
Yeah, Poe is catching. He's not too far off. He was even closer, I think, but he's made a mistake and backed off. So, and then Bartonks as well. So yeah, there's a good 5-way battle now for that final podium position. But Josh Evans, who's been off the track a few times, is carrying damage. Can Lloyd Reed make it stick now as he comes down towards the little kink ride? He's just got his nose ahead. He's got the car ahead. Oh, who's going to be later on the brakes? Evans trying to fight it back through, but Lloyd Reed. Oh, and Evans going off the track again.
Across the grass.
That's about the 4th time he's done that in this race already. Does not like that chicane, the Welshman. Really, really struggling with it. Yeah, bit of rallycross indeed. These cars are not really designed for that though. So you may have a bit of a problem. But Dahan is now...
Just very fast lawnmowers.
I think Dahan made a mistake, so I'm just going to pop the replay on and see if we can see what happened to Dahan. Because he was showing a white flag. So, yeah, he's done the same. But he didn't keep hold of it in the same way that McLaren did, and that is what
He'll have
caused
got
it.
away with that a bit there, won't he? There won't be terrible amount of damage on that car.
No, indeed. But what that has meant is that Poe is now fighting away with Evans, and unfortunately the replay's still playing, and I can't see it.
Stevens with the yellow flag.
So this is... Oh, it's gone back too far. Apologies, gentlemen. It went back too far there. Right. Anyway, back to the live action. And yeah, sorry. I was working with the custom replay option because 30 seconds is too much and 10 seconds is not enough. So I've gone for 15 seconds. But what I didn't realise is it's the custom one is 15 seconds 2 minutes ago, as opposed to 15 seconds from now. So I've put it to 15 seconds from now, so that should hopefully give us some better replays. Anyway, but Poe is still behind Evans as it stands, but Lloyd Reed now is the one up into 3rd. So it's all happening. So Reed now up to 3rd, and Evans down to 4th. Poe still challenging him for that. He looks like he's going to try and get this. And oh, that was so tight. Who's going to be later on the brakes?
Switch back.
Evans does make the corner that time, but Poe, you can see his car in much better condition. Evans has called it a day.
He's going in the pits.
He is going into the pits indeed. So he's given up on the damage on that car. You can see how much he's struggling in a straight line. So better to get it done now, get the stop done, and then get back out on track.
I mean, no offence by this, but was that brave or stupid, boys?
A bit of both.
I think it was brave.
I think, yeah, it's certainly a good mixture on it.
It had a bit of everything. I mean, I wouldn't have done it. Nah, we all would have done it. If you're alongside, the problem is there's a little bump there, and if you get it wrong, you can just fly and end up doing a Mark Webber. So it's yeah, brave indeed, but you could say maybe a little bit stupid. But then again, I haven't got the talent that these guys have got to actually keep a car facing in the right direction. So maybe it's just.
Tell you what, if you want to sound slightly more official in your plethora of corner definitions, the chicane is the chase. I just think that's quite cool. So we can
I know
say
the big long straight's got a start-finish line.
So I tell you what, Mike, you'll love this as well. Turn 1 is called Hell Corner.
Nice.
That is pretty metal, isn't it?
It's a shame they haven't got the Nordschleife on it, because I could name most of those corners, even though there's 115 of them.
There's some pretty cool corner names. I've got to give it to whoever came up with these names. The downhill part is effectively the S's. Very easy. Then you've got the Dipper and Forest's Elbow as the hairpin. Forest's Elbow? That is such a cool name. Sorry, I'm just freaking out over corner names. There's a race going on.
That's alright, there are worse things to talk about. We could be talking about crocheting or something, like, you know.
We've got Murray's Corners, the last corner. We've got Frog Hollow. Oh my God, Frog Hollow. That is an awesome name for a corner, right? I'm
Right.
calling Frog Hollow next time he's on stream.
Kingston into the pits, so Adam Scott takes the lead of this race, albeit by default with Kingston into the pits. But we do have a new leader, albeit temporarily. A new leader we do have, and there he is, number 2, Adam Scott.
Traffic.
Yeah, he's come across all the back markers at the moment, and right up the mountain is not where you want to be coming up to back markers, because they're not going to want to get out of the way, and rightly so, on the mountain. You ideally want a nice little straight to get past, but oh, and a little mistake there as he tries to let the leader past.
This is Frog Hollow, by the way.
I'm very pleased to know there is now called Frog Hollow.
I'm satisfied I managed to move that into the stream.
Hey, where would we be without these nuggets of information, eh? So this is Tonks versus Dahan, and you'll notice the other Dutch BMW, all three are in line, but Bierkhaus is actually a lap behind now after his pit stop, so
Yes.
that must have been one hell of a pit stop.
It was.
He's actually behind, the likes of the Humphreys brothers and everything on track, Bierkhaus, so that was one heck of a long stop.
Where I can't really see it. I imagine he's still last. What is the gap showing for Adam Foster off the back of whoever's in front of him? I can't quite see it just because of the way the screen works.
Zuber, he was a whole lap behind Zuber, but he is now. He was 2 laps behind. He's now 1 lap behind Zuber, so he's gained a lap back. But he's on lap 9, and the leaders are on lap 14, so he's 5 laps down.
Got you.
Altogether. But just 1 lap down on Zuber, and Tickner 2 laps down on Rich Arnold and Darrell Weavers. So still a long way to go. Right, Dahan into the pits. So the pit stops are coming thick and fast now. So Kingston, after his pit stop, came out in 11th. And there he is.
I was about to say, Mike, one thing that we didn't account for, because I think the last time we came to Bathurst with Fdsr was a sprint, is the fact that pit stops and traffic is going to be huge around here, because it's not exactly an easy track to get out of the way when you've got a blue flag.
No, very true.
I'm just thinking, we've seen Kingston there going up against some blue flags. Even though he had such a huge gap back to P2, is there a potential...
Going into Hell's Corner. Look at that.
Hey, is there a potential that traffic can cause that much havoc that we could actually see P2 and P1 swap?
Absolutely, potentially. That
It's going to take a lot.
Yeah, that move was actually for position.
Okay. Apologies, I do apologise.
No, that's fine. But that was for position. But the same thing, actually, in that he's got to fight slower cars because where he's come out. So, ahead of him now, he's got Paul Prescott, Ben Simpson, Graham Morris, Scott Balseeley, all drivers who, with respect to them, are not as fast as Kingston. And they're all ahead of him. So if they go long and they're not going to stop anytime soon, he's still going to have that issue on top of blue flags, like you were just alluding to. Yeah, absolutely. Something could. It might not hold him up that much, but something could certainly go wrong. We've seen that in the past as well. So, time will tell. He had a 16, 17 second gap before the pit stops, but he pitted quite early. Really, I thought he would have gone 50-50, but. Obviously decided not to, but his tyres also could be screaming towards the end of the race because he's got to do an hour on them. So
definitely,
hard to know.
All it takes, isn't it, is for him to get stuck back. Let's say he gets up to the back of Paul. Paul's Lamborghini is set up to be unbelievably fast in a straight line, and that's basically the only way you can get past here is into the chase or up the mountain as you're going towards like turn 2 and quarry. So if the car is set up slightly different to him, it's going to be unbelievably easy to defend and cost Kingston potentially a hell like just a boatload of towels squeezed on the grass. If in doubt, flat out. That was unbelievable. Bit naughty though.
Yeah, Stevens just giving him a little nudge, and Dehaan. This is for position as well, by the way. But Dehaan fighting back through after making his pit stop, and this is the type of thing I was just talking about. Of course, it's circumstantial. It depends on where you come out and who you're battling with. But you know, Dehaan having the battle with Dan Stevens and being run off the track a little bit is costing him lap time.
Dan Stevens perfectly entitled to defend that position and fight it.
Oh, Eli Poe has
He's got the switchback. As Eli dropped off the face of the map.
He has, yeah. He was just in second, and now he's gone.
Oh, that
And
might be
I
another
noticed
BC.
him go yellow flag, and I was about to see what happened to him, and he's disappeared. So maybe he's quit, or maybe he's had an accident. I do not know. Absolutely no idea.
Oh, around the hairpin at the cutting is very brave. Around the hairpin, around the outside, I should have said. You can see he's just all over the back of Dan Stevens there, though, is our Kevin Dehaan.
There's 3 battles here. It's almost impossible to know which one to go for, and that is the one.
Wow!
Dehaan gets through.
Good
So
move.
we can move on to the next battle now. Kingston has got himself past
Prescott.
Prescott. There we go. We got to see them both live. I'm on fire here. And
Oh, Dan's had a moment. He's way down in 16th now.
he's gone into the pits.
Ah, I see.
He's gone into the pits. You're okay.
I was about to start panicking there.
Humphries' yellow flag.
I was going to say, we're effectively marshals here for you, Mike.
Yes, so we are now watching Tonks fight Damien Humphries. So
Solid P9 for Bath. We were saying in the pre-race build-up, Doug, that we know how quick Bart is. And I feel like we do say this quite a lot more seasons, but if there's any place where you need to be consistent and where he needs to demonstrate that he can do it, it's got to be here, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I think if he, don't mean any offence, but if he had consistency as he did in some of the events last season, here I think it could be
He
a
could have been
painful
up there,
night.
couldn't he?
Yeah, he could have been also. Yeah, like you're saying, if he had consistency, he's got here, he'd be up there. But also, if he showed the same consistency last season here, it'd be a painful night, I think.
Oh yeah, that's basically what we said. It'll just be, it won't be a barrel of laughs if you clouting walls every 5 laps.
His mechanics would be quite busy, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got news, gentlemen.
Go on.
Adam Foster is no longer last.
Oh,
He's 21st now.
Richard Arnold is in the pits, and therefore Adam Foster is now up to 21st. So
because Adam left and rejoined and started from the pits, does he still have to do a pit stop, or in theory could he just go right the way to the end?
in terms of, there is no mandatory pit stop, so he
I
doesn't,
know that.
he doesn't have to. But I think he could probably get to the end of the race on 1 tank.
Yeah, I was more leaning towards the fuel side of that.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll bring him sort of back into play for some of these back marker guys. So, you know, with half the race to go, he's like a lap behind the guys ahead of him. You know, with a few incidents and tiredness kicking in towards the end of it and stuff, he might still be in with a shout of sort of top 15, quite possibly, but we'll see. Bart Tonks, as we see there, getting past. Let's just watch it again. Tonks, I forgot to press the replay logo, so apologies for that, but Tonks around the outside of Humphries. Great brave move there, great driving from them too, keeping it nice and clean.
I tell you what, Scott is really going deep in the lead for P1. He still hasn't stopped. Well, then again, neither has Lloyd Reed.
No,
like
it's not.
you
It's not
say.
even half time yet. Like I say, a lot of these
I was
stops.
going to say Kingston had an early stop, didn't he?
Yeah, a lot of these stops seem really early. So
It might just be that a couple of the guys were. I mean, we don't know if Kingston was. Could be that they had a little bit of damage and they just thought, well, I'll pit now, get it fixed.
Have you noticed that Graham Morris's gap to the car in front just keeps going up by a second?
Yeah.
He's now 300 seconds behind the car in front, yet still in fourth. So there's obviously
crazy.
a little glitch there. So I was trying to work out how far Kingston is away from the lead because he needs 60 seconds. So he's what, 12?
Can you change it
40.
from gap to car in front to gap to leader?
No.
Ah,
Current gap live.
that is it. I
Yeah,
think.
it's still not right though, is it?
No, it's not because it's showing that Adam's got a gap.
No, this current lap time that is.
Right.
Race caps. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know. What's
It looks like
happening
Morris's is. Maybe he's. That's weird because now Morris's is reset, but Simpson's is completely
there. Yeah,
good.
but Kingston is about 50 seconds, about 50 seconds behind the lead. So,
Yeah.
so he should still be okay, unless Adam Scott doesn't change tyres. If Adam Scott doesn't change tyres and he just does a splash and dash, he'll gain about another 20 seconds back in the pit stop. So if he can make a set of tyres last for 18 minutes, he might be able to bring himself back into play for the win. But then on fresher tyres, Kingston's obviously going to be rapid. So we'll see. You know, that's the beauty of it. We just don't know. But how well has Lloyd Reed driven? He's driven from, where did he qualify? Was it like 11th or something, I think, wasn't it? Now let's have a look. Positions gained. Oh no, it wasn't that bad. It was 7th he started. So apologise. But I think he did end up quite far back because there was a few shenanigans, weren't they, early on. So he ended up quite far back.
Yeah.
But he's fought his way back.
Someone went really deep there in the braking zone to turn one. The hell?
I think that was
Someone
Dan
literally
Stevens.
just went to hell.
Yeah, it was Dan Stevens,
Ah, man.
which is a shame.
It's
Adam
a bit
Foster.
of a battered McLaren, that one.
Yeah, Adam Foster has taken over Zuber as well now, so he's up to 20th. So, well done to him. Humphreys is in for his first pit stop. We have lost Ash Humphreys, I think. No, he's still in. Sorry, apologies. He is still in. So the only one we've lost is what was his name?
Eli Poe.
That's the one. Poe. Oh, big mistake!
Oh,
Big mistake there.
That was Scott, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Let's just take a quick look and see if we can see what
man.
happened. So he's coming around the froggy part. Oh, and just weird place to lose. I think
Wow.
he tapped the brakes. I think he tapped the brakes
that
halfway
felt like
around.
lift off oversteer, didn't it? Or a little tap of the brake.
I think he's tapped the brakes while turned, and the trail braking has just brought the back end round. I think that's what's happened there.
It must have been because he wasn't quite where the car should be for the left-hander. He was a bit more mid-track. So
Yeah.
he probably had a confidence brake, and it's, like
Yeah.
you say, unsettled the rear.
I agree. What would you do now, Doug, with that damage? Would you just get your pit stop done out of the way rather than risk driving around?
I'll probably try and evaluate how much time I'm losing, try and basically evaluate the situation and see which way.
Oh, well, that
Which
level of
way's better
damage
to
on
go?
the front, I mean, it's battered. He's losing 3-4
Is it-
seconds a lap with that.
3-4
Easy.
seconds, well, you might as
Yeah.
well pit now because you've still got best part of 40 minutes to go, so you
Yeah,
might as well.
and you
Yeah,
called it
there you
right
go.
because that's exactly what he's
There we
done.
go.
We're professionals here, people.
You should have stalled there, Dougie, to see what he did, and if he stayed out, you could have gone, no, well, actually, I'd stay out.
Do
a bit
whatever
of
he
drama.
doesn't do.
I'd
I think
actually
this would be a
pit, change my
nice-
tyres, refuel, and not actually repair the damage.
I think this will be an easy regain of the lead for Mr. Kingston, won't it?
After that accident, I don't think there's any doubt at all. So Graham Morris is just diving into the pits, which is a shame because he was about to become de facto leader. But here is Kingston then. So he is about to come across the start finish straight, and that is one battered Ferrari, still getting repaired. So Kingston comfortably up into first.
Easy, job done.
Yeah.
You saw how easy it was for Scott there, though, to lose it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly the same thing could happen to Kingston.
Well, the
So it's still
question
out to play
now
for.
is, I was going to say, is Scott going to lose second? And he has, because Lloyd Reed is
Ouch.
now up to second. What a drive from Lloyd. Absolutely fantastic.
Simpson in the pits. Is that Simpson leaving the pits with it being green?
No, green means
no, he's back down.
effectively he's done an overtake.
Yeah.
But obviously it's just positions changing with pit stops and things. So there comes Adam Scott. He comes out behind Bart Tonks, who now finds himself in the final podium position with 36 minutes of this race to go. So Bart Tonks and Lloyd Reed, absolutely fantastic drive today so far. Commentators curse, they're both going to crash any moment now.
I think Davis and Mooney might have had a coming together. There's orange triangles and yellow flags flashing up on that little leaderboard at the side.
Let's go back and have a look. Oh, Mooney's in the wall. Oh, we just missed it.
Ah, damn.
We just missed it as the replay was finishing. But Mooney was basically in the wall, so I think he's put himself back in the pit lane, which puts Foster up to 19th now. And,
It's all starting to come together.
It is. He just needs another 87 things to go his way, and he will win.
You never say never in racing, boys.
Never say never, indeed. And I gotta say though, it's been really entertaining opening race. Plenty going on.
Yeah, I think for an endurance race, tracks like this, where they're a little bit bananas, makes for good viewing.
Yeah.
Like, I think we did Brands last season, didn't we, as a sprint? But imagine Brands as an endurance. I think that'd be awesome.
I think it'd be bonkers.
Yeah. Pick the bonkers tracks for endurances and the long ones like Spa for sprints.
Yeah, do it. That's one way to keep it interesting.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Kingston still leading in. He's got 15 seconds on Lloyd Reed, so he has lost some of his gap, but Reed is driving particularly well. You've got to say. Bart Tonkston in third. Oh, an accident there with Millers in the background. Let's just have a quick look at that and see if we can see what happens. He goes into the first corner. Oh, tapped by.
Whoa!
Who's that? What?
It's Dahan, isn't it?
That's Dahan, yeah. He's
It was either a tap from Dahan or a loss of traction.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a strange one, but it looked like a hit. But
Yeah, the way it spun around, it happened a bit too quick to be traction, didn't it?
I think so, yeah. I think he's made contact. I think he's probably a lot faster out of the corner without realising.
The camera angles you get on this is really, really good actually. When you see come over the hill.
Yeah, there's some great shots on here. Yeah, look, and it has it's come up as an accident on the highlights log. So. It wasn't an incident. Oh, he's had a big crash.
That's huge!
Safety car.
He's just got to sit there now and wait for all these cars to go past. Absolute
That's what
nightmare
happened to
for
me.
him.
I got stuck at the apex on Tuesday. It was painful. Just praying that no one hits you. You can't move.
So this is not for position. Scott Balseeley is in 13th. Graham Morris is currently in 7th. And a word for Graham as well, actually. Great drive. 7th position. Driving really well.
He started quite far down, didn't he?
Yeah, he was nowhere. He was 13th, 14th, I think. Let's have a look at his positions. 13th, yeah.
He's up.
Yeah, so he's up 6 positions. So, stellar effort, I would say. Most positions gained so far. Alan Davis, who started 22nd and is up in 12th. And Paul Prescott, who started 19th and is currently in 10th. So a couple of stellar drives out there. Certainly plenty of contenders for driver of the race. Oh, sorry, I had an itchy leg then. Nothing worse. Nothing worse than an itchy leg, but nothing more satisfying than scratching it. That's not a metaphor, by the way.
Wow, it's showing Adam Scott as 7 laps down.
Yeah, where is he?
He's P4.
Oh yeah.
And he's behind Bart.
Yeah,
but I know
whoever's
he's
in
definitely
4th.
not that
Yeah,
far behind.
the data's
You
wrong.
can see Bart there.
Yeah, the data's wrong for whoever's in 4th for some reason all the time. So it's
I wonder, is that where Eli Port disconnected from?
might be actually. That is a very good shout. I think he was in 4th at the time. And
So I
that-
wonder if it's just bugged.
Yeah.
Whoever's in 4th.
Yeah, that would make sense. We'll just ignore it because I'm not going to risk. I'm not going to risk disconnecting the software and reconnecting it because it will probably just completely mess everything up. But just to confirm, folks, Adam Scott is not 7 laps down and then everybody else behind him. It's just a little bug. And yes, I think my esteemed colleague is correct in that it is where Eli Poe disconnected from. So therefore,
About 2.5 seconds that gap.
Alan's gone into
Yeah.
the pits.
Good spot there from Dougie. Tahan is back in the pits after that accident, so he's down in 12th now. Plus Davis up to 11th. And Damien Humphries into the top 10. That's also a good drive. Qualified 14th, but ended up dead last on the first lap. Spinning out at the top of the hill, not far from where we are watching him now. And has fought his way back from 23rd up to 10th. So I think that's a stellar effort myself. I don't know if you boys agree. Rich Arnold back in the pits. So where is Adam Foster? And Adam Foster's now 18th, 1 lap behind Ash Humphries and Darren Tickner. Tickner and Weavers are quite close together. Well, Beerhouse has just overtaken Simpson. There we are. That's something to watch. Boys, let's have a look at the replay.
Whee!
Oh. We missed it.
Well,
That was fantastic. What'd you take us through that one, Doug? Take us through that one.
Excellent overtake. That was excellent.
Well, that was a PDF
Absolutely
move if
brilliant.
ever I saw one. Yeah, wow, guys.
Good,
I mean,
Wesby.
I can't tell you how fantastic that was. Sorry, go on, my friend.
I was just going to say, could Wes Beakhouse pull off that overtake on a cold Tuesday night in Stoke?
We'll never know because we didn't actually get to see it.
Exactly. I tell you what,
I heard he drifted it round the outside of him.
some say Wes just flipped it in reverse. He just put it in reverse. Some say that he even jumped that chasm over the chase that people do in iRacing, but we'll never know.
And he only steers with his feet. All we know is he's called
He's
Wes
called the
Beakhouse.
Beakhouse.
Good stuff. Speaking of
I was
drifting,
gonna
I was
say-
drifting the Porsche earlier. I did a 90-minute endurance race around Alton Park as part of my acclimatization program with the car that I've assigned myself. That's right, professional sim work happening here. Thank you. And I'm doing an endurance championship against the AI with the AI on 97. And I drifted it all the way. You know the double right-hander towards the end of the lap. I drifted it all the way around the entire thing, and I was like,
Oh my God.
so proud of myself for not losing the car. I'll have to see if I can get the replay up later. I'll send it to you because it was just bananas. I love that little Porsche. It's great. I never thought I'd say that.
Would Gwen Stefani have been proud at how bananas it was?
She would have gone BANANANANAS and everything.
I was going to say, boys, how much of a far cry is it going to be going from this to Watkins Glen next week?
Oh yeah, different kettle of fish in it. And
It's just Marmite to strawberry jam, isn't it? There's just absolutely zero comparison between the two.
Also, can I just ask a quick question? Are my eyes deceiving me, or is devil's lettuce on the side of Wes Bickhouse's car?
It is absolutely on the side
Yeah.
of Wes Beakhouse's car.
Well, that's why he's so high up the order.
Oh no. Another season, another dad joke.
I set myself up for that one now. that's how sad it is. Anyway.
just like to point out, none of the views expressed within this stream are that of FDSR. All views are held by the individual only, and FDSR are not liable for any views held. And also just to state that the Garget is legal in the home country of the driver of that car.
It's actually legal in the United Kingdom to have possession of marijuana, but you cannot sell it. That is legal. So
Legal.
You can have it, but you
It's
can't
not
buy
legal.
it or sell it. So
yeah,
if you can weave your way through that one. How did we end up talking about the intricacies of drug law? I do not know.
it's kind of like that in Holland. It's really weird. So you can't. It's illegal to transport it, but it's not It's like it's perfectly legal to sell it. But like, what?
Yeah.
So
It just teleports.
yeah, but I guess so. The Dutch have teleportation technologies that is unbeknown to the rest of Europe.
The things you'll do for a doobie.
So
Right.
hey, back to the some say
Yeah.
before you get serious, Mike. Some say Wes Beakhouse is playing Buffalo Soldier in that car, like the Stig used to do on a hot lap.
See, I can't hear
Anyway.
Buffalo Soldier without seeing Randy Marsh carrying his balls in a wheelbarrow.
With the wheelbarrow.
Buffalo Soldier! Oh, absolutely brilliant.
Let's get back to the serious stuff.
No, I want to watch South Park now. Sorry guys, I'm going to end the stream here. I'm going to go watch South Park for a bit and have a little chuckle to myself. We are...
Only as a passenger.
Funny enough, there's still 25 minutes of this race left, and we're talking absolute nonsense. But that's just how we roll. So Kingston is still leading, but that gap to Reed has come down. Reed has taken nearly a second out of that gap. So interesting to see that Reed does have the pace there. So one little mistake from Kingston, which doesn't look likely to be fair, could lead to Reed taking an unexpected victory. But he has got better and better and better as the seasons have gone on, and he's showing that now. New car, and he's still really, really competitive, so fair play. Adam Scott, who's had a bit of a disaster at times, and that also isn't Adam Scott, that is cameraman having a little bit of a lazy five. He probably should be a lot closer to Kingston than what he is, but still, last step of the podium as it stands. Bart Tonks, who's currently 14,000 seconds behind, according to this, but that's not the case. That is just the glitch from where Eli Poe was disconnected. So he is in fourth and about 3 seconds, I would say, behind Adam Scott at the moment. And then got Josh Evans on debut, the number 92 McLaren in fifth at the moment, and a stellar job from him. Graham Morris in sixth, he's driven really, really well. Beercoast, who's had a bit of a disaster, but he has managed to fight his way back up to seventh, and he is 18 seconds behind Morris with 23 minutes to go, which is going to be 12 laps, so he needs to be over a second and a half a lap faster than Morris to overtake him, and he is a second and a half a lap faster at the moment. So keep an eye on Bakehouse, lads, because we could well see him taking 6th position before the end of the race if his current pace continues. Ben Simpson in 8th, Prescott in 9th, and Damien Humphries in a fantastic 10th. After a bit of a disastrous start, he's currently finding himself in 10th and 50 seconds ahead of the car behind, so he just needs to keep his nose clean, and that rounds out your top 10 for now. Adam Foster still a lap behind Nash Humphries, and in 18th position Rich Arnold, who's had to do 3 pit stops so far, finds himself down in 19th, and poor Michael Mooney in the pink Honda is about to go into the pit stop for the 6th, that's right, 6th time in this race. It is just not his track. There are no close battles on track, so gentlemen, give me a topic, let's talk about something.
Shall we talk about...
What did you have for tea, Doug?
You see, you ask the worst question because I've had a really random tea.
Go on, give
So
it.
I've had a cheese and onion sandwich with a chicken tikka samosa.
That's not tea. That's 2 random starters slapped together, like.
I was in a rush on the way home and thought I'd just nip into the shop and just grab a sandwich and a samosa. that was what was left on the shelves. So
I had fajitas I did today. They were very tasty. Oh, Artist has made a mistake again. Let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah,
Sorry, what was you going to say?
No, I was just going to say that. I think Artis made a mistake.
Top of the hill again. Yeah.
Well, he is from, did we say...
Latvia, I believe.
Yep. Well, famous for rally drivers. He was just finding his natural territory there, running wide into the grass.
He's not
What
going
did
to
you
get
offer, Tiaran?
I had an allergic reaction and threw everything up that I ate. That was my tea.
Okay. So what was the tea?
It was, no, well, this is, oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this. It was no fish scampi from Aldi.
Wow.
So it was, I just saw it, it was in the reduced section, it had a reduced sticker on. I thought that'll do. I bought it. It tasted exactly like scampi, but there was something slightly off with it. I thought, no problem. We'll plow
Something a
through
bit fishy.
We'll keep on eating it, and then I felt my mouth start to swell, and I thought this isn't right. And I went upstairs, and it all came back out of me within 15 minutes. And that was about 2 minutes before the stream started. So for the first half of this, you can just hear, because my mouth is full of saliva from the reaction. So I do apologise. But there you go. Everyone on stream now knows that for some reason my body rejected that.
Are you a vegetarian or vegan? Is that why, or is it just because it was
No, I'm
reduced?
not. I'm not. It was literally because it was reduced. So moral of the story: don't be cheap. Yeah, don't be cheap.
Yeah.
So just buy what you actually like.
You get what you pay for.
You literally do. I paid for 15 minutes of excruciating toilet fun.
Nice.
Where has this stream gone?
It's gone straight down the toilet. Whee.
Whee.
Prescott had to make a second pit stop, which was a bit of a shame, but he's only lost 1 position for that, which has actually promoted Damien Humphries up into 9th place now.
So very brief yellow flag for Foster there, but I don't think it's serious.
Yeah, he's got a white flag here, so he's been off the... Excuse me, he's been off the track at some point. Just looking to see if there are any battles. This skipper Bakehouse has got his gap down to 13.5 seconds with 9 laps to go. Yeah, so if he keeps his last lap was only a second faster, so a little bit off his own high standards. But yes, he could still potentially catch up to the back of Morris before the end of the race. So again, we'll keep a close eye on it. Miller's into the pits again. That's his 3rd stop.
He'll need to repair that damage, won't it, probably?
Yeah, I expect it will, yeah, but nobody can beat Michael Mooney and his 97 pit stop. No, 6 pit stops.
Oh, yellow flag for Prescott. That looks like a slightly battered Lamborghini.
Yeah, so he's coming into the last corner.
Oh,
curb.
Yeah.
Hits the wall twice. And then cracks on like nothing's happened.
bonus for style.
Oh, and he's
Bonus
back
points, I
into the
should say.
pits again. Which promotes Alan Davis up into the top 10. Good drive from Alan. He's kept it pretty clean, actually. Just the one stop was a bit of a long stop, so I'm assuming he may have had a bit of damage at that time. But he's made 12 positions from his starting position, kept his nose clean, and now finds himself in the top 10, which I think he can be really, really proud of, especially in a Honda that isn't particularly great around this particular track. Yeah, good drive.
Definitely. I tell you what, if we're talking about good drives, who would be your contenders for driver of the race? I mean, I can go first if you want some time to think about it, because I've been pondering on it for a little bit now.
No, more than anything, I'm just thinking that we jumping the gun a bit because there's still 17 minutes left, and for all we know, like, somebody could come from 10th and win the race, but...
I mean, they definitely could. I'm just thinking, you know, as a brief little discussion point, is there anyone so far that stands out?
Yeah, let's get a provisional decision, and then we can...
Yeah,
we can
we're not making an
finalise
official
it.
one just yet.
Yeah, we'll finalise it towards the end. For me, I'm torn between Lloyd Reed. He's driven really, really well. He's kept... what was I going to say? He's kept Kingston pretty honest. You know, Kingston hasn't really been able to back off because Reed's pace. He's had a couple of scrappy laps here and there, but overall he's driven really well. Damien Humphries come back from last to 9th, and Alan Davis to come from pretty much last up to 10th. Those three are the particular standouts for me, but special mention to Josh Evans as well on debut. Not just because he's Welsh, but yeah, he's had a really, really good, and a couple of scrappy laps when he was under pressure, but he seems to have settled down, and yeah, top 5 really, really good from him.
Josh Evans was going to be my shout for driver of the race. Just I didn't expect that type of debut to be up there. But it just caught me completely off guard, and I just think it's a really good drive to be P5. It's between Josh and Lloyd for me so far.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, none of those I just mentioned would be my driver of the race, though.
Curveball.
And mine would be Lloyd Reed, for the same reasons Mike said as well. He's kept his nose clean, but most of all he's kept Kingston on the pace as well. He's not really gave up and just let Kingston run away.
Yeah.
But stay tuned to find out the official decisions.
Yeah. Because my actual, if I had to make a decision right now, my actual decision would be that guy.
Wow, yeah.
Tonks.
Completely overlooked Bart Tonks. He's done.
Yeah.
That would be an easy unanimous one. P4 and smashing it with the consistency, which obviously...
a gap of 1,983 seconds.
85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Oh, we're almost at 2,000. Come on, let's watch it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay!
Happy New Year!
Were you two alive for the millennium? I was.
I was a twinkle in my mother's eye.
I was 3 months old.
Bastards.
I'm a 2001 baby.
I hate you both.
99.
I spent the night with what is now my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. I was, what was I? 16 years old. Playing computer games and drinking alcohol.
At 16. At 16.
Welsh, mate, there's nothing else to do around here. Drinking sheep, that's it, like.
Did you think that the world was actually going to end? Or
No,
did you
but I
just
did think all the technology was going to break, because everybody was like, oh, they haven't like programmed anything, so none of the clocks go past 1999 and stuff. Like, it was a bit weird, but no, I didn't think the world was going to end. I'm too lucky for that. You know,
And even if it did, you'd have probably been...
Commentator's curse.
Yeah.
you know, why would they end the world and deny the world me.
Oh!
That was Adam.
Josh Evans, was it?
No,
Oh,
it was
No,
Adam
it's
Foster.
Oh, Foster.
Having a worldy of an incident there. Coming over the top. And we're not going to get to see it because, oh, here we are. There we go. Hits the wall.
Oh!
There's cutting it close, and then there's doing that. And
You can't cut that corner.
you can't.
I kind of have a bit of sympathy from there because I also did that last night. I mean on Tuesday.
What a silly mistake to make. No, I'm joking.
It
Dreadful.
just shows that even one of the best can make a mistake like that.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. And he'll look at it thinking, oh my god, I made a mistake that someone who's 3 seconds slower than me also made.
Oh, I thought you were saying yoga professional. Sorry.
No!
He's many things, but a professional is not one of them. No, I'm joking, of course. Nor in this software yet, anyway. You haven't had it long enough.
Oh, I think Darrell Weavers is pretty close to the back of Paul.
That he is.
I keep seeing that Delta go red and yellow. I don't know if he's actually in a position to make a move. But then again, I suppose Prescott's got plenty of aero damage, so this might be a nice and easy one for Weavers.
It was. Up he
Yeah,
goes. Weavers gets himself up into 14th position.
Is Adam going to squeeze through as well? Yes. Yes, he is. I mean, not for position, but...
No, he's just fighting for fun now, really, isn't he? But he is 18th. But Miller's is in the pits. But Foster's actually had to make 2 pit stops himself as well. So I think he's had a couple of incidents.
Oh, big wall contact there.
Oh, Prescott ended
Prescott
up
into the pits.
for the 87th time, so he's had an accident. Let's see what happened here. So here he is coming up the hill. Let's go up to Helicam and see if we can get a good view of it. So he's just been overtaken by these guys. He's already carrying damage.
Whoa!
Oh, well held, my friend. And then not well held, and then well held, and then not well held, and then...
That car must have had some serious damage to be all over the road like that in the first place.
I mean, he did a bit of
He did
everything
have that
there,
massive
didn't he?
pirouette. Yeah, it was. I tell you what, he must have felt so awesome when he saved that, and then immediately brought back down to earth when it bit into the barrier.
Absolutely.
Painful.
He's no Mike Bullen at Alton Park, is he?
Certainly not. Certainly not. Josh has had to make another pit stop, so I think he might have had some damage. So he's actually dropped down to 7th now, which promotes Graham Morris to 6th. Where's up to
It's
5th?
Morris
Sorry.
to P5,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is. Yeah, you are right. Where's to P6? Where's 8 seconds behind now with 10 minutes to go, 5 laps. So he basically needs nigh on 2 seconds a lap on Morris to catch him, unless Morris makes a mistake. But
What is Adam Scott looking like to Lloyd Reed in terms of lap time? Is that a battle that could happen or not? I mean, I'm sure we will.
it is
after the
actually,
weekend.
yeah, he's been catching him quietly. I hadn't really noticed it until he said it, but Lloyd's made a few mistakes over the last couple of laps. He's been doing 207s.
Ooh.
And he's now 35 seconds behind Kingston with it, and that only a couple of laps ago was only 20 seconds. So he's lost 15 seconds in the last couple of laps. So it does look like we could have a battle for second position, and there is Scott, and there is Reed
In a second.
Yeah, you can see he's got damage, and he's had a couple of scrappy laps, and he's just tiredness and fatigue will have kicked in this last couple of laps. With under 10 minutes to go, you can see Reed is starting to struggle now, and that is such a shame because he was driving superbly well. I mean, he'll still
be
come home
good.
P3, hopefully, but yeah, he will be gutted. I think you're right there, but as long as he holds on to P3, I think he'll be reasonably satisfied. but then Bartonks isn't a million miles behind these guys. No, he's only a couple of corners behind. But there we see Scott up the inside into turn 1 and through to second place.
That's the way to do it.
And he's back where he started.
Yeah, a bit of a long-winded way of getting back to P2, but I'm sure he'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm sure he will indeed. The question now is, how much damage does Reed have? And has he got enough damage to allow Bartonks to catch him up and maybe take a cheeky podium? That is the question. Beerhouse now 6 seconds behind Morris, so he is still catching. He basically needs to catch a second per minute that is remaining. So that is quite a challenge. But let's see if he can do it. Ash Humphreys also catching up to the back of Darrell Weavers. So keeping an eye on these battles.
Just trying to see. I see Prescott is still in the pits. Do you reckon that's a retirement, Mike?
I think it pretty much is at this point, yeah.
It's got to be, hasn't it? With 6 minutes to go.
So, boys, you've had a chance to have a look at all the cars. Dougie, what's your favourite livery that you've seen today?
It's got to be Wes Bakehouse, hasn't it?
And to quote Nate Dogg, smoke weed every day.
Ooh.
What about you, Az?
Good advice. Not.
I was gonna give my favourite one, but then I got high.
That's a dreadful, dreadful joke.
I think I'm a massive fan of the Rich Arnold Honda. I think that looks really nice. You mentioned that this was meant to be, speaking of Rich Arnold's Honda.
He's put half the paint on the wall now.
I mentioned that this was meant to be what? You were going to say something. I mentioned that this was going to be in the...
Oh, sorry. I was going to say that the Audi, you mentioned had a Golf livery, but it just looks plain.
Yeah, I don't think it's been uploaded properly because it shows Audi Golf when I download it, and it's the right colour.
Yeah.
A base colour, but it doesn't appear to be any decals on it. So yeah, I don't know if something's gone a little bit wrong as we see Humphreys take a 14th position away from Weavers there on the replay. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's some sort of upload issue, but we will see.
I must admit, this isn't my favourite Wes Beekhouse livery. He has had one that's better.
What, or the one with our faces on it?
Yep, the one with all of us on it. That's the best one he's ever done.
I'm trying
That's
to
really
decide
asking
what
to
my
edit it.
favourite one is. What is my
I'm surprised
favourite
he
livery?
didn't say. I'm surprised he didn't say Ash Humphreys' Golf McLaren. That was such a nice car.
Ooh, that was nice, though.
It was nice, yeah, but it's not you. So what's the favourite one I've seen today? Let's have a think.
I think Bartonks' BM's quite nice.
Yeah, it's
Is it
pretty
quite
smart.
don't you
Not
see?
anymore. I mean, it's bad at the moment, but
Yeah.
yeah, Morris's.
That-
Yeah,
Graham's is smart, yeah. That's nice.
the old
It reminds me
classic
of the
Repsol.
MotoGP. It sort of reminds me of a Honda, like a MotoGP Honda, just because of the Repsol.
Yeah, what is it? It's an old livery because it's Red Bull branded
You know what?
Repsol in it.
It looks very similar to. There was a Group C Lancia rally car around about the same time as a Colin McRae and Pretzer. It's a Sainz Lancia. It's very, very similar to that.
Was that
It's
Repsol?
a-
Was it?
Yeah, it's a Repsol Lancia. If I search that, it'll come up because Carlos Sainz was sponsored by Repsol at the time. It being Spanish oil.
I'm just gonna Google it and see what comes up.
It was a Lancia Delta, Mike.
Yeah, nice. Everybody loves a Lancia.
So
Delta.
Lancia Delta.
So
Oh, yeah, I think I found it here, yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, Graham's got a bit more blue in it, but it's very, very similar to that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find what. I mean, I think he must have based it off something, like, but
Unless he's just picked one of the standard paint designs and just
no.
sort of put
This is
colours
the.
on.
I think it might be. There's a load of them on Gran Turismo for the Super GTs. So I'm wondering, it looks quite similar to one of the Super GT ones. It might be one of those, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. There's been touring cars, yeah, all sorts. I don't know which is based off. Oh, there's a Corvette CR7 one here, which is pretty much identical to what he's got. Yeah, hard to tell. But there's certainly been some very, very cool Repsol ones over the years. I just couldn't put my finger on it. Could not put my finger on it. But yeah, there's loads that are of that similar sort of thing. Anyway, it's really cool and I like it, and it's my favourite.
Just found the Corvette that you're on about.
Yeah. That's the one it looks most like for me, but either way.
I don't know if you just said this, Mike, but there's one in Gran Turismo 7, a Honda NSX livery,
Yeah.
is very similar.
Yeah, it's the Raybrigg NSX, yeah, the Super GT one, yeah. I did just see it in my Google search.
Who is that? Weaver's in the pit again in P11. No, it's not. Weaver's is P15.
No, it's Scott
It was
Balseeley.
Scott Balseeley.
So that will cost him a position or two, I would imagine. Tickner's had a slight off. He's under pressure now from Ash Humphreys.
Oh, Davies with a yellow flag and a white flag now.
Yeah, he's had a little off. Here we see Ash Humphreys trying to make his way
I
past
got very close.
Tickner. And Tickner later on the brakes and on the inside. Humphreys thinking better of it than to try and challenge around the outside of the circuit, but we've got a bit of a battle on.
We saw how suicidal that move was for, I think it was Poe, wasn't it, earlier on?
It was, yeah. That was before he had the disconnection of death. His timing thing is up to 2,812 now. Oh, Tonks has had a little incident, but he's okay.
The leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
Kingston has just started the final lap as we see these battling with Mooney. The back marker just jumped straight out of the way because he is absolutely nowhere today, unfortunately for him. But Humphreys has got the rest of this lap and then one more lap to... Oh, and he's lost it!
He's got none!
Oh, he's gone round. Absolutely lost it.
Oh, man.
And that's denied us what would have been a pretty cool battle to finish the race, but there we go.
Oh, Lloyd Reed, white flag. What's going on?
I think he's just making mistakes
Clearly.
and going off with all that damage.
I just wonder where Bart is in relation to Lloyd. He's quite,
he's got
quite a
half.
bit.
Well, it's half the straight behind him, isn't he? Because there we are. He's just gone over the start finish line. He's just starting the start finish straight. Yeah, so probably 5-6 seconds.
He's an entire moment away from Lloyd, isn't he? Lloyd could probably have a bit of a moment and get away with it.
Possibly, yes. Humphreys off
Humphreys with
again.
yellow.
Off again into the grass. He's not having a good one. I think he's given up
I
the will
wonder
to
if he's
live now.
going to call it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's waiting for he's waiting to be
get
lapped. Yeah, so he doesn't have to complete another lap. And quite frankly, with the race he's had, I don't blame him. So where is Kingston? There he is, just coming down.
Not
the
far
back
off at
straight.
all. Going down the Conrad Straight, about to hit the chase.
Dougie, out of 10 for his bad accent there.
I'll get 8.5.
8.5. That's not an accent, it might know.
Oh, here we
Absolutely
go then.
dreadful.
Rounding Murray's corner for a very commanding opening round win for Alex Kingston.
The leader has finished the race.
He has, the defending champion takes victory, and congratulations, because that was Sun Drive from Kingston. Adam Scott is going to bring it home in second place.
Well done.
on debut, and with a
Yeah.
bit of a disaster here and there as well. So very, very good drive from him overall. I think
Much
you can
better
be
luck
proud of
than
that.
Tuesday night, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he didn't make it past the first corner in 2 races in a row on 2 Sprint Tuesday, but there we go. But your winner, as you can see on screen
Nicely
here,
done.
the number 77, Alex Kingston. He's refused the number 1, so he hasn't pulled a Max Verstappen on that one. But we do have Alex Kingston is your winner. Alex Scott. I've got to stop saying that. Adam Scott in second. Lloyd Reed comes home with a very respectable third, and he would have been second if it wasn't for a couple of mistakes which caused that damage. But a podium, I'm sure he'd be delighted. Bart Tonks
How
with
good is that?
a fantastic 4th position.
Unreal P4.
Really, really good, and really pleased for him. Graham Morris is going to bring it home in 5th. Maybe he's Wes got to within a second and a half in the end, but just didn't quite have enough to take it.
Need 2 more laps.
Yeah, a couple more laps or a bit more pace, one or the other, and he would have got it. But there we
Got
go.
some extra devil's lettuce.
Yeah, he'll know to do that for next time. Josh Evans on debut, a couple of mistakes, but I mean, we're not judging anyone around here. Such an absolute nightmare of a track to drive. These guys on debut, Adam, Scott, Josh Evans, they've done so well to get to the end and also be comfortably in the top 10, with Adam obviously getting the podium. So huge congratulations to those guys. Ben Simpson, fantastic. We haven't really talked much about Ben, but back racing with us this season, and top 10, 8th position, fantastic. Damien Humphries with 9th. Like I said, he was dead last with about half a lap gone, so he's done really well to come home in 9th. Alan Davis 10th. Dan Stevens in 11th. Darrell Weavers 12th. Scott Balseeley in 13th. Tickner 14th. Humphreys 15th. Millers in 16th. Foster in 17th. And Prescott in 18th. And that is the last of the classified drivers, with Michael Mooney and Richard Arnold not being classified on my timing screens, at least. So there we go. Opening race of the season done. Winner Alex Kingston done. Boys, do you want to start asking some questions to all of our wonderful drivers who've joined us while I sort some screens out?
Yeah, I'm going to let Dougie do it because I am going to shy away, as I have to be up ridiculously early for work in the morning. So I will love you and leave all the drivers as currently, and I'll hand over to Dougie for an interview.
Thank you very much. First question is going to be to Lloyd. How did you find that race? I think it's really, really good result for yourself. I think you'll agree. But how did you find it from your side of things?
Yeah, it went well. Just one mistake, which just gave me about 30 seconds worth of damage, and yeah, I was struggling to hold back Adam at that point. I mean, my lap times were always deltas of like +3 seconds after that. But in all fairness, he was coming up rapidly, so it did ruin maybe a good fight for second, but I think he was always going to get it. But yeah, I'm quite surprised at my consistency around there, really. I mean, it's a track I've practiced a lot. I do think, from the sounds of it, the AMG is pretty good there, so maybe that's my one advantage played in this championship. But yeah, I'm interested to hear what happened to Foster and Wes and all that. I mean, I'm guessing they had a big coming together or something.
I think Mike knows more about that. I think I missed the start where that happened. Is Mike?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened there, Mike?
No idea, but luckily we've got Adam Foster here. And Adam, can you please tell us what happened?
I had a power cut.
Oh.
Yeah, I was loving it as well. I got fourth, right in the battle with everyone, fighting with Wes, going into turn one, and power went off. So yeah, I managed to get it all back, and then just joined and carried on. Was that it for me?
Yeah, it looked like you were just obviously. I
Banging
mean,
walls
basically
everywhere.
just seeing it out and making up the numbers in the end, really, because obviously once you'd had that happen, it was game over, I guess, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, I knew others were going to crash, so it's just like, are they going to crash enough for me to get in front of them? And some of them was enough, some of them wasn't. I crashed a lot myself, so tough track to start season 4 of.
Yeah, what stupid idea. Insurance
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, baptism of fire for the season, but there we go. It's done now. It's out of the way, and friendlier tracks to come. But yeah, it's one of those love-hate relationships with that track. You love it for all the right reasons, but it's so so easy to get it
It's
wrong.
a nice track, and once you get the flow, you can really get some accomplishment with it, and you know where to push, when not to push. But it's just 80 minutes is a long time to concentrate, and I was having chats with myself, just telling myself, "Come on, keep concentrating, don't think about that." So yeah, I think at the end I just didn't brake quite hard enough at the top of the hill, and the back just lifted a little bit, and then it's one of them places you can't recover it once it starts going. So I just tried damage control, really, just hold a little bit of the brakes and just hope for the best. But I think it took quite a bit of damage at the front. So yeah, all's fair. Very happy with third. Don't know that I necessarily should have been there, but very happy. Yeah, good way to start.
Definitely, I was going to say you should be definitely happy with a third place,
Yeah.
especially on the first
I don't-
race as well.
I don't think it'd be enough one of those in endurance now.
Well, I'll pass back over to Mike for Mike to do the next question.
Yeah, cheers. I'm going to pop to Alan, if that's all right. Alan Davis, the Honda driver, number 5, started 22nd, finished 9th. I mean, you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I was moved with that. I must admit, very little practice, and I realised I was way off the pace. So I decided to take the Minnow Formula One 1990s approach of if I'm a few seconds off the pace, as long as I keep going round, and when else crashes, I might get a few points. Which is exactly what I did. I think I was 5-6 seconds off the pace, and they just all fell like flies, whether crashing or power cuts or such. Yeah, and I thought I was going to end up 11th, but I think Scott pinned it on the hill with about a lap to go. So yeah, unashamedly way off the pace, but the tactic worked perfectly. So I felt a couple of times I'm coming over the hill, and I caught myself trying to push and bring my delta down. It's just like, no, slow down, don't spin it. So yeah, it was a perfectly executed tactical one. I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was going to be my job score.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, a nice solid top 10. I mean, it's not. I always found the Honda quite uncomfortable around there. I found it just waiting to kill you, sort of. It's one of those tracks for it. So the tracks coming up will suit the car a lot better as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm much more comfortable around the other tracks we've got coming up. I could have been 2-3 seconds a lap faster easily today, but I would have been at every 5 laps, as my teammate demonstrated. So this was the right approach. It worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, mate. Like I say, I thought it was a stellar drive, so congratulations. Dougie, over to you.
Perfect. I'll go over to Alex Kingston just to say congratulations, obviously, on the first race, first win as well in the season. How did you find it from your perspective?
Well, what an intro to the new season that race was. that race is so tough, man. Like 80 minutes just non-stop. Like just the track just does not forgive at all. I think I hit the wall maybe 4 or 5 times in the first, and that's what forced me to pit early because I had about 20 seconds of damage. But luckily, I was pretty confident going into this race because I knew I had a good setup, and the AMG is very good round here. So luckily, I had the pace to sort of keep it all together. But yeah, that was a really challenging race just to stay concentrating for that long. It's super difficult, man.
Yeah, it's not the easiest of tracks even to have an endurance race. I can imagine towards the end it's trying to keep your eyes open and keep focused, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm absolutely knackered.
Perfect. I'll hand back over to Mike, and obviously get yourself to bed if you're tired.
Yeah.
After that one.
Cheers, lads.
Damo, I mean, quite a similar story to Alan, but I mean, you qualified quite well, but then you had that spin. I think it was in the middle of the second lap. It might have been the first lap. I can't remember now. At the top of the hill, and ended up stone cold last. But so again, you know, similar sort of thing. Really, you've got to be really pleased with coming home top 10 and then ninth. I think it was in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, all good, mate.
Yeah, well, the reason I asked that, I was having a lot of computer issues. I was bouncing in and out. I wasn't even sure if I was going to make quali at one point, so I didn't get much practice. So into quali a bit cold, managed to get one lap in at least. And then start of the race, thought, oh, I'll just ease myself into it. And I don't even know what happened. I think I was just coming down, clipped the curb, and then facing the wrong way. So obviously I had to wait then for everyone to go past. I think I was about 11 seconds, 12 seconds off the back of the pack. But it's like, it's all right, got a bit clear road. Get my head down and stuff. So next lap, hit a wall, obviously. Did a bit of damage to the front. So, you know, losing about 2 seconds a lap, because on this track, if you have a little tap and it causes a bit of aero damage, you've got the two massive straights and you hemorrhage time, like 2 seconds a lap, something like that. So I thought, it doesn't matter. I'll just keep plodding on. Did the pit and then felt like I had a new car then, so I could have gone a bit quicker, but I thought at that point, it's like, I'm up to like 11th. It's like, I can get a top 10 here if I just keep it consistent, don't do anything silly, you know, don't worry about pushing for mega lap times or whatever else, and just keep it clean, and that's what I did, and it came in. So I think that's the tactic for this type of track for people of my speed and experience, to be fair. It's just, you know, let half a second go and just get round.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's what you're saying there about damage. I mean, me and Adam had a race on Tuesday night, which was basically whose car was worse, particularly down the straights. Neither of us had any pace at all. So, yeah, you're right there. I mean, those straights are absolutely killer when you've got damage. But how are you finding the Audi new car this season? So, a bit of a change for you?
Yeah, new car this season. My brother Ash helped me out with some setups and stuff, which was really handy. So I've done a few hours of practice over the last couple of weeks and things, and it's a good car. It's got a lot more front end and it's got a lot more traction than the Lexus. So immediately when I started using it, within about 20 minutes, I was taking seconds off my previous lap time. So this isn't a strong track for me. So to finish top 10 is good. So we'll see how we go. Aim to maybe nick a podium at one of the races this season is my goal.
There we are. You heard it here first, folks. He's aiming for the podium. He wants the taste of that champagne. Well, thanks, and good luck next week at Watkins Glen. So,
thank you.
Dougie, over to you.
In fact, I'll head over to Adam Scott. Obviously, you made your debut in FDSR. How did you find your first race? And obviously, not a bad result at all either. How did you find it?
You're on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute, yeah. Oh. We'll skip to someone else then while Adam tries to work out what's going on there for him. We'll head over to who we've not been to. Graham Morris, how did you find it from your perspective then?
That was trickiest track to start off with. I mean, I stuck with the McLaren for this year, and I knew this first track was not going to be good for it. It's just terrible. It's bouncing all over the place, and I've just had the cleanest race ever. I don't know how I've done it, because in practice I'm hitting a wall every 2 laps, and I've just tapped the wall today in 120 minutes, so I'm over the moon with P5. Just consistency, just managed to bring the points home, really.
It's a great result, fifth as well, as you're saying. It's a hard track, and as we were saying before, an endurance race, tiredness sets in. Would you find it difficult towards the end?
Oh yeah, well I had Wes chasing me down, so I had that keeping me concentrated. He's gaining like a second and a half a lap on me, and he finished about 1.2 behind in the end. So yeah, I couldn't let off at all. So.
And when you've got that sort of pressure on that sort of track as well, it doesn't help.
No, definitely not. It's definitely not what you want, especially someone with Wes's pace chasing you down. But yeah, so it helps you concentrate. You don't drift off in a way if you've got something to battle for. So maybe it's not a bad thing, but
yeah, it keeps you active, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that result overall?
I'm buzzing, absolutely over the moon. I thought that would be obviously the McLaren's worst track. I was thinking P10, P11 is going to be a drop score, but I don't think it will be now. I think P5 is a good one.
You can't ask for anything more than that, and I'll pass back over to Mike.
Yeah, well done. Great. That was a good drive, actually. Really, really good
Cheers.
drive. And like I say, it's interesting seeing the mid-engine cars. Obviously, not really suited to the track, but seeing not to insult anyone, but some surprise results today has really been really good and kept it interesting. Right, who am I spoke to? Dan, I believe. Dan Stevens. How are we, my friend? You are back in the McLaren, I believe, aren't you? And 11th, probably should have been top 10, but one too many pit stops, maybe. How did it go?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. First time using it for the league. I've used it in endurance races, so it's quite a good car in most places. Yeah, I kind of hit the wall a bit too hard and couldn't drive, so I had to jump to the pits, and then that cost me quite a lot of time. And then I tried chasing Alan and hit the wall again, and I was like, best stop. I don't know where P11 come from. I was 12 for ages, so I guess someone left or something. But
I think Scott Balseely had a very late pit stop, so I'm guessing he hit a wall or something, because he was about there or thereabouts for a while, and then all of a sudden he wasn't. So I think that is what bumped you up.
Nice. I'll take it. It was
Yeah.
terrible. Wasn't the best race, but it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's always going to be tough from there, isn't it? I mean, is it a particular track you're looking forward to driving this season?
No, not really. Nothing stands out as a great one. And I enjoy most of them, to be fair.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, obviously doing the sprint races on Tuesday. I kind of like all of these tracks apart from Bathurst, so I'm glad it was first and out of the way, so get it done and dusted. But I don't know if we've got any audio from Adam Scott now. Are you there? No. Okay, no worries. I think we've covered everybody. So if there's no audio from Adam, we'll call it a night there. And thank you all for tuning in. Thanks again to all the drivers for joining us. Thanks to my co-coms and everyone else. I hope you've enjoyed the show and a couple of the new features. And we look forward to seeing you next week, where we will be at Watkins Glen for 2 sprint races. And I'm told there may be some of that damp stuff on the tarmac as well, which might make things interesting. So thank you very much for joining. Thanks for watching back if you're watching it on replay. And please check us your comments, subscribe, like, join the Discord, everything else. And